All right, I think we're on. Hey, everybody, it's Paul from Inside PA Training. I'm here with my buddy Joshen. Joshen, just fair warning, we're doing a little makeshift video today on his iPhone, but...
Android,
yeah, sorry. I'm elitist. Anyway, if you're wondering, it's Ugly Sweater Day at our work, and that's why Joshen is wearing this lovely thing. Anyway. So, Joshen, I was just hoping to ask a few questions of you so people get an idea about your experience as a PA student and a pre-PA. Can you just sort of tell us a little bit about how you got started in this field?
Yeah. So I was kind of a non-traditional track in that my career, my exposure to medicine began as a farm rep. I got a chance to meet a number of PAs through that job. When I realized that career wasn't the best fit for me, I got a lot of encouragement from the physician assistants I was working with to quit and go back to school. So I went back to school for a few years, to a community college to get my prereqs done. Applied to UC Davis twice, got in the second time. In the meantime, while I was going to school, I was also an EMT to gain some more patient hours. And, between that, farm rep experience, and the undergraduate work, I was able to get in.
And how do you feel like that prepared you?
I felt very prepared. I think it was helpful to have recently been in school so that I was already in that study mode. A lot of my colleagues that had been out of school for, 10 years or so, I think there was that initial difficult time of just trying to figure out how do you learn, how do you study. I didn't have to deal with that. And also, being involved in pharmaceutical sales, I was somewhat familiar with some of the lingo, so to speak, so that came a little more naturally to me. Like
medical language kind of stuff, medical terminology. Yeah.
Exactly.
Remind us, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. And so this wasn't an original career choice for you?
My undergraduate was actually in marketing and international business. My first job out of college was with Gallo Wine. So I sold wine.
I didn't know that.
And I sold drugs, and now I'm prescribing them.
Perfect. You're a regular dealer. So I think a lot of people are curious about big pharma as a way to kind of get into the medical field before getting into the medical field officially. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that path? Would you recommend that?
I don't recommend it, and the reason is that I think that you should look, if you're going into pharma, you should look at that as its own unique career, because really they are different. Pharma is more about. It's about selling a product. You obviously want to do it with good conscience and do it obviously with the goal of helping patients, but it's sales. It's not medicine. It's a different skill set, and I think it's a different personality type that thrives in pharma versus in medicine.
And you're a PA student now. When you run across the pharma people, what goes through your mind?
Oh, I feel bad for them because I know they can get a lot of crap from physicians, whether it's PAs, NPs, or docs. They work hard. It's a tough field.
You know a lot of them too. It's interesting to watch you interact with them.
It's a tough field. There are good ones and bad ones, just like in any profession. So when I see a good one, I try to give them time, and if I see a bad one, I try to make sure I don't talk to them.
Try and disappear.
Exactly.
All right. So I should mention that you are the PA student at the clinic where I'm working. That was completely by accident. I happened to get a job here and met you and realized, oh my gosh, I know you. Ran into you. Actually, I think we had just met a couple weeks before graduation.
Yep.
Something like that, yeah. So people are always wondering kind of what this field is like. What has it been like for you to be a PA student? The role, the academics, the rotations. What's been your experience in general?
Humbling.
Humbling. Tell me about that.
In that type A personality, I'm used to being very confident in what I do, excelling at everything that I do, and feeling good about it. And the PA profession is one in which you have to accept that you don't know everything. You're not going to be the master of your craft right away. And as a student, even though I'm getting good grades and I feel very good about myself as far as the academic performance, I feel like I'm doing a good job in clinic as well.
I want to throw out there, you are no slouch in clinic. You are sharper than I was as a PA student.
But as you also can agree with, every single moment there's something that wasn't perfect.
Yes.
That should be done a little differently or a little better. and it's humbling. And you have to stay humble, otherwise you'll go insane.
Yeah.
But it's been great. I mean, I love learning, so this process has been a lot of fun.
Are you a perfectionist at all? Or?
I'm very much so.
Okay, so is that hard for you?
It is. But like I said, I also love to learn. One of the main reasons why I wanted to go into medicine and become a PA is it's a career of constant learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already enjoying that process of every time I see a patient I've never seen before, there's a little bit of research I can do to figure out what's actually going on. So I love that part of it. It's humbling, again,
yeah,
but it's fun.
How much more school do you have for everybody?
I graduate in June.
In June. So you're nearly done.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I'm ready to start earning a paycheck again.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going in this career?
You know, I happen to like primary care. I want to stay in a profession where I have time to actually develop a relationship with patients. Granted, I haven't started my rotations yet. I will be starting my rotations in January.
What rotations are you doing?
I do an orthopedic surgery and inpatient psychiatry as well as ER. That'll carry me through pretty much May. And then I'll come back here for the last month or so.
So you have classes every now and then, but basically it's rotation, graduation.
Bingo. So when I talk about what I want to do, it's under the understanding that I haven't been exposed to every other field.
Fair enough.
But I really do like the environment at this urgent care family practice because you see a diversity of conditions. It's not just cardio all the time or pulmonary all the time. And there's a time to actually develop relationships with patients where you can talk about how they're feeling outside of that individual condition they're coming in for.
Now, I kind of thought you were going to mention psychiatry. Wasn't that an interest of yours?
It is an interest of mine, but recently I've kind of become a little bit disenfranchised with the concept of psychiatry, just for the fact that I'm attracted to the field in regards to the therapy aspect of it, which is something that PAs don't get a lot of training in.
No.
We would do a lot more of the med management, which is something that I'm not particularly interested in. I like it here because we have to see a lot of patients who are suffering and they need somebody to intervene and help them, and we can do that. But
so would it be fair to say like outpatient psychiatry maybe is a better fit for you than inpatient, or
I would
you
say
not go that far?
Family practice psychiatry would be a better fit for me than just outpatient psychiatry in general, because my exposure to outpatient psychiatry is largely a lot of med management.
Yeah.
And that, again, isn't as much of an interest to me as it is the therapy aspect along with the management of medication.
And, in primary care, you're kind of talking about people as a whole, and you're trying to figure out what's interfering with them improving in any area, whether it's their relationships or, we're not doing therapy, but we definitely check in. We want to know what are the things that are influencing the health.
Well, and one of the things I like about working in primary care is when I see somebody who's depressed, my initial thinking isn't depression, it's thyroid or low testosterone or anemia, and I can start working up other differentials, diabetes, go through that laundry list and make sure I'm not missing something, whereas in psychiatry oftentimes you've got one focus.
Yeah, good point. So before we go, a lot of people are interested in getting into this field. It's a big part of the site. Do you have any advice for folks on, if you want to enter this field, what they might want to do?
I think that shadowing a PA for a prolonged period of time is one of the most helpful things that I did. I spent time shadowing both an NP and a PA in very different fields, one in more of a private practice setting and one more in a community care setting. And I think that is what changed my resume substantially enough where when I got in, didn't get in the first time I applied, got in the second time. Obviously patient hours are important, but spend a substantial amount of time. And I'm talking about months, going in a few days a week, and find a PA who really wants to be a mentor. Some PAs are okay with you being there. Some PAs want to help you get in. Find those, and I think you'll get a lot farther.
Excellent. Super quick. Can you mention a couple of the cool things you've gotten a chance to do as a PA student?
I love this clinic because we have an awesome radiology tech, and so where a lot of my classmates don't get a lot of time exposure to x-rays and reading x-rays, I've got a chance to learn that, which has been a lot of fun. This is silly, and it's really not all that cool, but I got a kick out of it. Just subungual hematomas, just popping and seeing them squirt. I just think it's kind of fun. Not all that technical, but Fun to do.
Nasty to some, fun to others. And I should say...
It doesn't smell good either.
I should say our x-ray tech, her name is Maureen, Mo, we call her. She is hilarious. She sliced her arm open on her tape dispenser.
Yes.
And it was a learning opportunity for you.
My first time to suture was on our x-ray tech.
And you did beautifully.
Debatable. There's a little bit of a scar, but no infection, and it stopped bleeding, and that was my 2 goals.
I think for a first round, that's excellent. So.
Right.
And I was excited to be able to look over your shoulder and give what little advice I had. I haven't been doing it for a long time, but
you're doing great, Paul.
It was cool. Well, thank you. I've enjoyed working with you. All right. Well, Joshen, thank you so much for talking to us, and I just appreciate your time. And
no problem.
Wish you a ton of luck in the field.
Thanks.